Peace and good morning, folks. This is Friday morning. I do have, I had this craving for a food item, food and beverage item that I've never had. I'm sorry, I forget the name. I believe it's a Sicilian dish, and I believe I've stated this before, so I've been talking about it for a couple of weeks. You juice some lemons. I guess you could do limes. I don't know. I pretty much have a bunch of limes, and I got some lemons. I squeeze that into, do I mix it with water? So they mix it with water and sugar. I was going to mix it with water and honey. I'm pretty much out of honey, though. Oops. I ordered some more, like a lot. Like, not even a lot, but it's expensive. And they charged me a lot for shipping, which is crazy, but it's a big box, and there's glass in it, so just let it go. This is a business building and a residential mixed use. They should not charge the residential fee. Anyways, whatever. I have, it's like $35. If say you got 10 things of honey, that'd be $3.50 shipping each item. That's a lot. Each item is like a pound now, or 1 to 2 pounds, so maybe not. Alright, anyways, what I was thinking of doing was getting this lemon juice with some water and mix with sweetener honey. That's some agave, but I don't want to use it because I don't like the taste that much. Unless I was making raw chocolates out of agave, so they actually were vegan. And that was like the only thing I was using the agave for. Put those in an ice cube tray if they did not have at the club store yesterday. And then put all of that. The ice cube tray I have is little small, so like silicone. Put that in the freezer. And then I'm thinking to dump all those out. Run those through the blender and make it like a slush where I can eat it with a spoon. Now, will that happen? I don't know. I keep emptying my ice cube tray and setting it aside, and then I'm not doing anything. I have a, thingy, measuring cup, a glass measuring cup that has the the bottle brush for washing dishes, and the straw brush for washing the reusable straws. I haven't been using any straws lately. What happened? Anyways, I got a lot to clean because I was making carrot juice. I made some celery juice. I made some little burgers out of the pulp of that with some broccoli mixed with some cubed mushrooms. That was excellent. The taste together, the mushrooms didn't get hard in my dehydrator. They were kind of like soft, almost too soft, like almost scary tasting. But I was like, because of the size that I made and the shape, it was fun for my mouth. I was trying to keep my dehydrator from catching on fire because there's olive oil that's slipping around on the anti-slip sheets. And I just noticed yesterday I was doing something in the kitchen and I saw a puddle forming under the dehydrator onto the floor. Is the dehydrator on the floor though? Yeah, it's on so there's the bottom shelf of a like industrial kitchen stainless steel table that I need to clean. It's got a lot of honey jars because I don't want to waste the honey that's at the bottom of the jar that I can't get out. If it's plastic, or even glass, you have to be careful putting hot water in glass or hot coal, this kind of different things. But I was concerned about that because this item feels like it's too heavy for me to lift and I need to clean under it. I need to clean the old one out also. We got rid of the box. I don't know why my partner got rid of the box, but he wanted to store the old one in the storage unit. But they are critters in there, so it needs to be washed down really well. And I was thinking of maybe like double bagging it. I know those critters could bite right through, but double bagging it to contractor bag and like another bag. And then just emptying the whole thing out, wiping it down as best I can, inside and out, letting it dry, and then letting them take it because it broke multiple times. And it's scary because I'm running this one a lot, and it's professional grade Excalibur dehydrator, and I've had 2 paid for, and 2 broke pretty quick. like, and I'm really scared. I had the plastic one fall to bits, the other one, the plastic broke, and then the motor just broke and started, like, flashing really bright red, like the heating element was gone berserk, and then when I plugged in again, it would heat and get hotter and hotter, which I never saw before, and then the fan would never spin, and so it was like unplug immediately before some sort of fire happens, and that was really scary. So I don't like these things with juicers breaking, other dehydrators. I had 2 other types of dehydrators that broke. The round ones broke. My old chrome colored Omega juicer slash pasta maker slash nut butter maker. Well, that's why I was making nut butter. Shoot. Because I was thinking, can I make nut butter with this little plastic, food plastic? You can look online for Vitamix. $600 something. Oh. They had some certain one for like $300 or something. Most of the pieces online are $120 something just for the container, the mixing thingy. So today, this morning, it's 7:19 now. This morning I did have a dream that was really creepy. So in this dream, oh shoot, what did I just open up Outlook? I don't use that. I don't know how that happens. Must have clicked on something. There was, I wanted to remember after I wrote this down, way after I woke up, I wanted to think that it was some kind of lake or something people were meeting around, but I don't remember a lake. I want to say it was a small town. I wanted to say that there's people in this dream that reminded me of the people from my old hometown, which is not where I was born, but where I was raised, in a small town in Michigan. I was actually watching Catfish on the MTV one, and they were in a small town in Michigan, which is really interesting. Coincidence now. It's like dream, what is your dream? It's picking up on stuff from the day. So I'm in this dream, and there's a bunch of people out in the middle of the night, and there's these guys, like, it wasn't uncomfortable, like, there was these heavy-set guys, and they didn't have their shirts on, like, they just had, like, shorts or their underwear on, I don't know, but they were running this, like, machine, distiller or something, and they were, like, turning the thing, and there was, like, a engine that this guy was controlling, and there was this whole crowd of folks, like, and it wasn't even, like, my high school class, it was, like, the class under mine, and they were running this distiller or whatever, and there was fluid coming out, and I remember briefly in the dream being like, oh, I'm not going to participate in drinking that, but I was interested in watching these people out in the dark outside running this machine and knowing what they were doing. And the neighbor came out to check on, because it was really close to the property line. The neighbor came out to talk or something. And then in this dream, there was some kind of events that was happening, and people were using these items, and it was almost like, you remember those I call them harvest festivals. Remember, if you were around in like the 80s, you remember having where you bob for apples, and like everyone would stick their head in a big barrel of water and literally bob and try to bite the apple. I don't think I ever won that. If someone bite, your germs are with everyone's germs. Let's just say that. And I feel like they had the ones where you had to eat the apple that was on a string. But I think later on at the old church or something, they started using the string with a donut on it. It's the good old days when you actually got apples and not sweets for your treat that you like. Nuts. Oh God, I used to get peanuts as a treat. I don't think that's really allowed in schools anymore. But it was that vibe, and we had to do something with our mouths, like some kind of, there's like this scavenger hunt or some kind of, like, what do you call those courses, those activity courses. I'm trying to think of what you call them. And it was to show a Double Dare where they're like, okay, we want you to do this. And if you don't do it, you're gonna get slime. Or was that obstacle course? That's it. I used to set those up in my room. You have the event where and I was supposed to get that pumpkin. Maybe that's telling me something. There's a pumpkin. There's a bunch of pumpkin seeds, and we were like eating the pumpkin or something, and we had to like gnaw on something or do something with our mouths. And we were, whatever we were doing with the pumpkin, everyone was going in this like plastic bag, and we were spitting out the extra seeds. And I think we were supposed to keep like a couple in our mouth to do this event. And this one girl that was in a class lower than mine was like eyeing this bag of seeds. And my mind's like, my mind's kind of like, I should save those seeds to eat them, right? And I was like, but they've had everyone's germs on them. It's like raised mainly in the 80s, right? But did stuff like that sometimes. I had some military children friends. They weren't sharing any germs. Like, they're like, this is how you share stuff without sharing your germs. Like, that was always the military folks. They had to have really clean houses. Maybe that's why my parents lived off base. I don't remember them doing an inspection off base. Anyways, she was eyeing it. She was wanting to have a mouth load. I don't know if it was like you had to chew through a rope, whatever. She wanted a mouth. She was like talking to me. I want to take some of those seeds out of there. I don't care if they were in other people's mouths, so that it would help me with the like kind of that grinding friction of how sharp they are. They're fresh, they're slippery. I'm gonna get those pumpkins out. I only want to do one. I'm gonna get one of those pumpkins out. It's August. There's gonna be more pumpkins in September. Come on, man. But anyways, oh shoot. Speaking of pumpkins, I got some zucchini. I put pumpkin in the dehydrator like it was squash, and it was good. I wonder how I made it. Anyways, I got distracted. I'm like, fall. Wait before Labor Day. Wait after Labor Day. So that this event was taking place, and I was talking to this lady named Jenny, in a dream, and it was another dream that was very, very like I was actually there, right? And I had sorry, I'm trying to think. This, you know what? Before I went to bed, I was watching the Outdoor Disasters, the newest one, where the people climb up buildings, I don't know what they call it. They climb up the buildings, crooked glasses, and all I know is I was dreaming that there was like these cages that they were like metal, what do you call it, scaffolding or something, and I want to say at least 30, maybe 60, I don't know if it's under 100 people started climbing. There was a couple of them. Almost like, one of them was almost like, because I was also looking at something about a shipping container apartment building in school. It was almost like a size of a shipping container, except it wasn't solid. The walls were not solid. They were like the Donkey Kong rings and ladders and rungs, but like scaffolding. I haven't been on scaffolding, but we saw some fold-out scaffolding over here. It just kind of looked like cages and like things to walk on, metal. And people ran into the woods on top of these after something. And I think there was 2 guys that were kind of guru-ish. And one of the people's spirit was like that of a wolf. And I was like, what is going on in this dream? Now I'm talking to this wolf. And this person, or wolf, was just, it was just, like I was a straggle. And I don't know if it's because I was old and injured. I don't know if it's because people were drinking and I wasn't. Or they were going out into the deep woods in the dark without seeing what kind of abyss they were entering. And I can't remember the rest. But that name and the face of that person named Jenny, I looked him up. So I woke up in real life and I looked him up. And pretty much the first thing that I see is that there's a fundraiser, unfortunately, blessings to the family, moment of silence, that her little brother died suddenly a year ago, just under a year ago, so September of 22. And there's nothing anywhere that shows how this young man died. Now, it looked like he graduated 4 years after I did, so I said, wow, he was really young, but I had to remember that I graduated 17, so likely he was 3 up to 4 years younger than me, but more likely 3 physical years, so he would have been last year, depending when his birthday was. He'd be only 42. Yeah, I think it said he was 42 years old. So this is pretty sad. This kid, my friend lived next to this family, and this kid was shooting at us with a BB gun, like point blank. And that's all I remember of this fellow. And I was like, first of all, your parents let you all shoot guns at your friends into their head. And second of all, like, my dad wouldn't even let me I couldn't even use like a Nerf gun, for Pete's sakes. My dad got mad when my brother was chasing me with a fake, that would have been worse than money, a cap gun that I thought was real because he had the caps in it, and I thought he was shooting at me. My dad got so mad because I was running around the house screaming. I ran around the house screaming twice that I can remember as a kid. I got in trouble both times. The first time, I don't remember if I got in trouble the first time, but it would have been an unacceptable behavior. I was a kid, my brother was chasing me with a cap gun, he was making smoke go all over the place, and I jumped under the bed. Could you imagine a little kid when you watch TV, and it's Hollywood, and someone shoots someone, and then they fall down and blood comes? I thought for sure it was if I had that cap gun out in the street right here, I'm sure that I would be arrested and potentially shot before I even said it was an antique. There's an antique store next door, and I saw it to this antique store. I saw a white man walking down the street with was it a rifle? Or it was a long gun. He didn't have a sheath on. He was just walking down the street with a button-up shirt. Oh my dude, that is. People talk about I ain't got no privilege, or I ain't got no entitlement because I'm white. You didn't get shot walking down the street with a long gun. I don't know the gun laws here. All I know is if I'm black and I was trying to do something like this, I would be like, I have to put this stuff in a container, maybe call the police in advance, tell them I need an escort so that nobody thinks I'm up to something, you know? Why don't you get something cleaned or repaired or antiques? I have a love for antiques. Blessings to the rest of the survivors. I don't know if he had a spouse. It didn't say he had a kid. It said he was preceded to death by his grandparents, 2 sets of grandparents, and a cousin. It didn't say he had a partner either. Wow. I think he was kind of crazy. It looks like he was really big into sports and stuff. I wonder if he had a spirit of this wolf. Enjoyed the Wolverines, so maybe it was a Wolverine. Wolverines are scary looking things. Alright. Blessings to that family. You never know when it's your last days. When are your last days? Your last hours of life. It makes me want to cry. I have a book in the closet I'm going to go get. My partner's likely to be out at 7:30. He might not be home. I'm praying for him. He's been really tired, and it's just chaotic thing. I I was saying it bowling with 2 hands like this instead of putting their fingers in the holes. And I was trying to toss stuff to people the other day. That's how I was doing it. I'm having these nightmare people. And they're other women, and they're particularly a different race than mine. And I can't, it doesn't matter who it is, because I have my black relatives trying to curse me and despising me. It is heavy. It is heavy. What was I seeing? A story there somebody was talking about getting through something or becoming a millionaire. I don't know, having all the support of their family. And someone else was having a tragedy, and they were able to move back in with their mom and deal with divorce, and I don't even know, trying to get a job and all that stuff. I'd say, oh, I'm so happy that I'm so blessed that my mom is still alive. Anyways, I should do laundry right now. I went outside yesterday for a peace vigil that I participate in weekly, usually every week. It was distracting because I had a lot of stuff this week. I'm really overwhelmed with my work. I had somebody text me right before 9 that they left a message the day before to make an appointment. I ain't got time for this. Guys, I ain't got time for you to be texting me at 9 o'clock at night. If you call a business, usually, I need to chase any message. You should wait. You could wait up to or more than 72 hours to get a response. I don't have time to call everybody every day. I have to do another. I haven't done a sabbatical. I was like, this is no sabbatical. I got to do another block of my schedule and just chip away at the work, because this is getting ridiculous. Taking on these new people, a lot of them don't even hire me. It'll be, I want to say, at least 2 hours of correspondence before they even hire me. If you call a new doctor and they say the next appointment's in 3 months, 6 weeks, whatever, and you go to that, most of mine I call, it's at least 3 to 9 month wait to get into that doctor's office. Then I end up getting maybe I get a reminder call or text or an email with the paperwork in it, right? And then I take that and I go to the visit, and it's like 15 minutes, and they didn't do anything but ask me what's wrong. They didn't do any treatment plan or nothing. They're going to get paid their $200 to $600 for that visit. They're not going to get on the phone and get on the video and give a free. They're going to say, hey, what's going on? They're going to charge for that visit. And when I go to as an established patient, I've been charged almost $4,000 for 2 45-minute appointments at Aspen Dental. And that's just to clean my teeth. I have no dentures. I have no crown. I didn't need any surgery. I sent the bill to my insurance. I thought it was going to be covered, but I found out that it's a covered. You get paid back a certain amount per year, but there's supposed to be a place that takes your insurance. So that fine print, I missed that part. My mind's always thinking, oh yeah, you get reimbursed for that. You'll get reimbursed for that. You'll get reimbursed if the person accepts your insurance. If they accept your insurance, they shouldn't be charging you, especially when you're on Medicaid. So that's like a lose-lose for me. This other dentist I'm supposed to go to, Aspen would not send me the form to go and get the freaking what you call it, the form that I need to do. I can't remember what it's called. Release of records. I call them to tell them to do release of records to University of Maryland so I can get my gum bones repaired, periodontics and periodontics. I have called, and University of Maryland clearly said on the paperwork make sure your records are sent. We are not responsible if you show up here without your records and x-rays. That's a big no-no. You would be charged for the visit. They wouldn't be able to see you. That's out of town in Baltimore and all this stuff. So I went to that one, discharged me because they said you have too many pockets in your teeth. I had to pay cash. I went to another dentist to have an evaluation. They charged $500, but they charged a little bit less. And then I already had an appointment with the dentist for cleaning. I thought I was getting my teeth cleaned. And those people just did like a 3-minute look at my mouth, and that's it. And they said, order the x-rays from the other place. And I called the other place to ask for the x-rays. I think I asked for the same piece of paper. Nobody emailed it to me. And the other doctor didn't do the treatment plan, which I'm notorious for only having a written treatment plan. So if you're going to see a doctor, you're going to have a dentist. I did find my little notebook. You write it down, even just scrap paper or something. Write it down. I wouldn't write it on a napkin. Someone wrote a whole bunch of stuff down on a napkin, and I can't find it. You think, oh, that's going to be obvious, but do you always open up napkins before you throw them away to see if there's, like, the answers to all of the world's problems on it? I went to the peace vigil, and people walking up and down the street were talking to the white folks, but they weren't talking to me, and they were thanking them for their signs. It was really interesting, because I'm standing out there as a doctor and as a reverend, thinking, wow, this is interesting. And as the daughter of a long line of Americans, United States of Americans, that were drafted into world wars or the Vietnam War, it's like, I'm a human to you. These are white folks. I'm a human to you, people. Very interesting. Very, very interesting that you're invisible like that. Very invisible. There's a few men that will wave, and they'll look me in the eye and wave. When I first went out, I was scared. There's a lot of dirty looks, a lot of scary big trucks. Some of the big trucks are just people coming to and from work, waving at the police. Not sure if I was supposed to. The mail carrier was taking his own car home. It's like, I'm starting to recognize the lady who gives me dirty looks and flirts with my boyfriend. I'm like, ooh. I was like, I'm putting my hand down when I see it. Like, I'm being selective about who I wave at here, guys. It's my body, my choice. I gotta wave. Like, this is not a child. This is a volunteer effort. I'm out here with some real elderly folks. It's mainly 4 elderly people. There used to be 2 more. And we're out there, alright. We're out there. They go out 2 times a week, actually. So they go to a different town, different county, though, so we'll have to deal. I'm gonna do that one day. I'm gonna do it. Let's see if I see my old supervisor from my old job. That guy is, like, so weird. It's amazing. I wish I get paid my worth. I wish I got paid my worth. I was super depressed when I went to bed. I'm gonna start a new video, so part 2 today. I was so depressed. I went on a naturopathic physician. I'm a member of this association, and I had a free CE, and it was a panel of 3 folks, 3 women that graduated after I did. I don't know about one of them. At least 2 of the 3 graduated way after I did, and they have been in practice for a few years, and they're running multidisciplinary and multi-practitioner employee relationship practice. And the biggest thing, I'm not gonna, I had to pay for this class. It was like $29 for non-members. So much. So 2 things. One thing how I felt. The other thing, I think one of the biggest things was hiring somebody in a clinic that was part-time was not necessarily their favorite vibe, or hiring somebody that was maybe independent contractor part-time, like 1 day a week, and feeling like they needed someone that had a passion for the clinic. And then the other thing was having a salaried worker, not having a drive to see more patients. Like, So they were saying that adding bonuses and incentives and stuff. They kept saying 1 to 2. I was like, oh, are they talking about 1 to 2%? You get 1 to 2% of the sales? I don't even understand what they were talking about, these numbers. It's 1 day, 2 days in a row that was yesterday, that I was listening to some stuff about business and or investing, and it was crazy. And they're talking about having a plan. And I'm going to give away. I'm working on my standard operating procedures because I didn't bring my duplicate one. I had 2 copies in my organ because I had the home office and the office space. And I don't know. I saw one of my standard operating procedures. I didn't even photocopy it. I ran out of time. So I still have my new one here, which I needed because I couldn't find my phone. I needed my fax number and all of it, whatever. There's a lot of stuff I need to put in that book. It's going to be more than, we got plenty of binders here and plenty of paper, so have at it, right? But if somebody's birth, so having procedures already in advance, and we had a document we had put together in our business class. All of us were contributing, and it was the what ifs. I like that one. But this was, for example, if you hire someone on in October and pay for their insurance or whatever it is, or pay for something, maybe their license, I don't know, and then their birthday's the next month and their license expires. Are you going to be double paying in that year? Oregon used to prorate the license. If you got licensed at the end of the year, that's only, they take a long time, so you wouldn't get your license till November, December. November at the earliest, December, and then it expires December 31st. So they used to prorate it. I think they had 4 tiers or something, quarterly, and I feel like I haven't seen that anywhere else. Actually, I saw it for Hawaii, I think, because they were on a 2-year, so they did have it prorated for some of them. I thought I saw there was maybe that is Maryland. I thought I saw somewhere where it's like you have a monthly fee. So, and your license is good for 2 years. Is it 2 years? Yeah. So it's 24 months. So whatever the fee is per month, you're paying all at once. So there's timesing that by 24 months or whatever. I don't know. It's all expensive. All I know, it's so expensive, and it's cost prohibitive if you have no startup money. So these people, there's one person of color, very, very light of color, that were able to acquire and or start their own multi-provider clinics. And to be able to start a clinic, you need to have a clinic space. And in order to start, I should take that back. You don't actually need a clinic space if somebody's along the lines is what I'm doing. And a lot of things that were said the first half hour, I was like, I can't do that where I am. I can't do that where I am. I'm not allowed to do that. And they did speak with the question Q&A about lawyers and this, because I was like, and I'm glad someone at least mentioned a little bit about the rules in their state, like non-compete became illegal. It was in Montana just recently, and these different rules with insurance, and if you're taking insurance or not taking insurance, fee splitting and percentage stuff is, for when I signed up for Medicaid, it was not allowed. And then states where you have a low scope and you have an employee, or you work in association with somebody with a bigger scope, an MD or a family nurse practitioner who could prescribe and you can't prescribe. And there's all these weird things that I was like, nope, not going to do. I was like, what lawyers did they talk to? Like that, it's kind of creeping me out. And so I think I'm saying something because when you pay money and you go to a national organization and you have a panel where your people doing Q&A, and these people are not disclaiming in the beginning that this is what's working for their jurisdiction under the type of, say, even talking to you all yesterday about S Corporation and LLC or sole proprietor LLC, that's not an S or C corporation. I'm filing my own taxes as myself. Like all these different things that you do. They're saying that the Department of Labor doesn't like independent contracting relationships, so make sure that you're doing that very precisely, because they say that people they don't like, they said, because their tax is not generated enough doing that. But in my mind, I'm an independent contractor. I'm paying taxes. Like, if it's 5% total, I'm paying the 5%. And I feel like as self-employed and low income, my taxes seem to be 30%. If I made $1,000, then they took, $333. $333. So, and I'm like, I'm low income. Like, if I only made $1,000 a year, you guys realize their rent is over $1,000 a month. Like, come on. Then taking into account when you're a business owner that you have this difficulty paying for food and gas and all that stuff that you're not really writing off if you're typical day. But it's so depressing. So that dream was pretty intense. I'm going to go ahead and do a part 2